All right, hello, wine-drinking people. It's time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday. And, you know, what's the best way to start out your day? A little champagne. So whenever, you know, I get a call and say, hey, the folks from Roederer in town, do you want to see them? I mean, I don't want to say we drop everything we're doing, but, I mean, we're willing to see you, even if you're the fourth supplier on this day, if you're showing us great champagne like Cristal. Roederer has got a long history of making one of Champagne's most sought-after wines. The Tsar of Russia was the person that influenced the production of Cristal. When they came to see, his wine people came to see the folks at Roederer, they said, oh, you're giving us the same wine as you give to everybody else? No, 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 the Tsar must have a special cuvee, and thus Roederer Cristal was created. And the flat bottle, very unique also, because the Tsar worried about people putting explosives in the punt, which makes the glass stronger. As you can see, you need a much thicker glass to make a bottle of Cristal. And kind of interesting story behind that, but to this day, still the only champagne with a flat bottle. Everything they make at Roederer is excellent. You know, the Blanc de Blanc, I think this is my first time tasting the champagne. I'm a big fan of 100% Chardonnay-based champagnes, and this may be the best value in the lineup, even though it's $100. This is 100% estate juice. Roederer does buy some fruit like most other big houses do, but this Blanc de Blanc is 100% estate, only Grand Cru vineyards. It's the same Chardonnay that goes into making Cristal. Anyways, if you like Blanc de Blanc, like I said, one of the best. This wine's got a lovely refined bouquet, citrus aromas, lemon drop candy, tree fruit. Aged for 4 years on the lees, so you get a lot of that yeast autolysis in this wine, some fresh brioche character in that, some vanilla spice, a little less pressure than in the Brut non-vintage. And the Chardonnay is more acidic, so it's more aggressive, so you don't feel like they need quite as much pressure. So lovely creaminess in this wine as well, too. 4 atmospheres of pressure as opposed to 6. And lovely creamy texture on the tongue. You notice that bright acidity coming through and all that nuance from the nose coming through in a long finish. This wine's $100, but it's 200 and something for Cristal, so same Chardonnay. All right, the Roederer Brut Premier. Well, I don't want to say a step down from the Blanc de Blanc, but this is a blend of all 3 champagne varietals, 40, 20, and 40, 20% being the Pinot Meunier, which is the least important varietal of the 3. And they don't have any of this, so they have to buy this. So 70% of the wine is from their own vineyards. And this wine's got lovely brioche, toasty notes, and fresh apple and tree fruit. 150 acres of Roederer now biodynamic, something that they're starting to see more people do in the Champagne region as well. They're trying to make things as natural as they can. 25 to 30% of the wines used in this case are from reserve wines. You know, in Champagne, about 70 to 80% of the non-vintage Brut like this wine is made from a single vintage. This would be predominantly 2008 vintage, but they still have not put the disgorgement date on the bottle, so it's kind of hard to tell unless you know what batch it is. And, you know, with Roederer, this is a champagne that sells through, so I bet we're going into the 2009 cuvee very soon. But this wine, always one of the best values for a non-vintage Brut. We can sell this wine right around $40. I mean, we have the cheapest champagne prices in the world here in this country. Go to another country and try to buy champagne, you'll see what I mean. Roederer Rosé Brut. This wine is a maceration, so it's not a blend of red and white wines, which most people do today. They macerate, keep the wine on the skins with the red grapes for about 5 to 7 days, according to the vintage. Well, this is just Pinot Noir, so the Pinot Noir on the skins. This is 30% Chardonnay, 70% Pinot Noir, and again, like I said, they don't blend still red wine. They don't use still wine to make this. This is a harder way to make a rosé champagne because it's not as consistent from year to year. Anyways, this is aged for 4 years on the lees, and a very specific village they use for the Pinot Noir here, Cumières in the Marne Valley, and they have a nice southern exposure there, so the grapes get riper, and that's what you want with Pinot Noir. Lovely cherry, Jolly Rancher candy, like fruit on the nose here, some pink grapefruit and blood orange, as well as you get some of that toasty, biscuity notes here as well. Lovely, creamy palate. I love rosés. For me, they have got more fruit to them, and I think a better choice with a lot more different foods. And I don't know, I'm just a rosé guy. I can say that. I'm very confident with my sexuality. Anyways, $72. I think a very good rosé, one of the better ones in the marketplace today. They're always more expensive than the Brut cuvées because they make less rosé. All right, the Cristal. This is the big boy, 2005. This is the latest vintage and really classic year. Excellent for Chardonnay. 55% Pinot Noir. The rest is Chardonnay, aged for 6 years on the lees and 6 months after that in disgorgement. 100% Grand Cru. That's how you know there's no Pinot Meunier in here. Pinot Meunier they're not allowed to plant it in the Grand Cru areas, or can't be designated Grand Cru even if it is. So 50% of the grapes coming from biodynamic vineyards. They feel this gives them more accessible and just a little more expressive fruit that these biodynamic vineyards are producing. Good amount of that toasty, biscuity, yeasty notes to the tree fruit, peach and apple. Lovely hints of ginger and flowers. Really complex bouquet. This wine, I would like to say I kept it till the second day, but none of these Louis Roederer wines lasted until the second day. But Cristal, always one of my favorite, more elegant styles of champagne. Absolutely fantastic. Most excellent this 2005 at $275. It should be. We do have Magnums and 3 liters in stock of Cristal almost at all times, for those people that want to party like a rock star. And a couple of wines from Bordeaux to finish things off with our friends from Louis Roederer. Chateau Au Beau Séjour, a property they've owned, I believe, since 1993, and Chateau de Pez. I'm sorry, they bought de Pez in 95. 92, they bought Au Beau Séjour. This is one of the best values in Saint-Estèphe. The regular price, $40. We still got this 2010 on sale while it lasts, while we have inventory, for $24. And you can't find Saint-Estèphe in that price range. This wine's got a higher percentage of Merlot, making it a little more accessible. But the 2010 vintage, lots of structure in these wines. Even entry-level wines like this Beau Séjour, I shouldn't say it's entry-level, owned by the folks from Louis Roederer. They're doing everything to make the best possible wine they can at this property. But this wine will last 10, 15 years or more in your cellar. This 2010 vintage is a vintage for the ages, one of the best vintages in Bordeaux overall for the last 20 years. And 2009 also back-to-back, 2 great vintages. But these 2010s tend to be a little more classic. This wine is aged for 12 months in a third new barrels, 52% Merlot, 40% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 8% Cabernet Franc. A lot of structure here, some lovely roasted coffee, fresh earth notes to the currant and cherry fruit, plums. This wine's got some tannins to it. Even though it's mostly Merlot, this wine needs some time. I recommend opening up the day before. These 2010s are better on the second day. Saint-Estèphe's especially tend to be a little more austere, but excellent juice. The regular price is $40. We got it on sale for $24. The Chateau de Pez, $65.75. Holy Jesus. Well, these people have assured me they're going to come up with a better price for this. We're waiting for these 2010s to go on sale. You can buy de Pez 2005 for like $40. That's where this wine always has been. But, the prices in Bordeaux have just been going through the roof the last few years. 2010, the most expensive vintage ever released from Bordeaux. This wine's been 40% Merlot, 5% Petit Verdot, 45% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 10% Cabernet Franc. So a little more Cabernet in this wine. Tend to be a little bit more austere. And this property was created in 1450. De Pez is one of the oldest estates in Bordeaux, something most people do not know. This wine's got some lovely classic Bordeaux aromas, like coffee, roasted coffee, fresh earth, some fine herbs also in this wine. The currant cassis fruit is there, but again, these 2010s need a little time really to strut their stuff. This wine could use another 3 to 5 years at least, and it'll be around another 10, 20, possibly 30 years even. Amazing when you think of it. And de Pez never, considered one of the great wines in Saint-Estèphe, but today, this estate making some of the top wine in Saint-Estèphe, de Pez, and Au Beau Séjour, especially when you consider the price we have the Au Beau Séjour at. All right, that's what I had to drink with our friends from Louis Roederer. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.